again, everybody, and welcome back. So today I'm going to be talking about some um, life goals I've had and some things that have changed in my life in the last, let's see, 2025, 13 years, 14 years. So 2010, I got back into the Army after having a small break, and I went to train in Fort Lee, Virginia, and I learned how to be electrician, generator guy, HVAC guy. I kind of learned how to play with all the different tools, different things. And when I got home, my unit decided that they were going to do something called cross level me, which basically they sent me to another unit. Why did they send me to the other unit? The other unit was deploying and they needed somebody like me. Now they had two people like me. Um, One of which he didn't really like doing his job. He liked playing and hanging out and chilling, and well, that was him. His name was Henry, and the other guy's name was Roland. Roland was a good kid, but a little undertrained. So Roland had the title to work with generators and stuff, but he had no knowledge. He had nothing, which is okay. That's kind of my wheelhouse, right? Working with people who have no knowledge to teach them how to do things that maybe they should know how to do because somebody else should have taught them, but they didn't. So we deployed. We mowed, which is basically where I learned who everybody was. We went to Fort McCoy, Wisconsin, around my birthday in October, and then we came back close to Christmas. Now, when we mowed, we kind of had to learn how to be around each other. And that's fine. That's what you do. I learned the people in my group. I had mechanics, I had truck drivers, I had 92 alphas, which basically are people who do all the paperwork to make everything you do actually, work. Um, and then you had all the people who are more in charge, and some of them really good. Some of them basically they were in charge because they'd been around for a long time, not because they were actually good at what they did, but they never left. So I've talked about before giving people authority because they've been around for a long time. To me, that's not how you get authority. Authority is by knowing what you're doing. Um, and that really irked me, bothered me, but I played the game. So we mowed, got back around my anniversary, December 18th, and we were home for a couple of weeks before Christmas. Now, this Christmas, we decided to go big. We did a scavenger hunt. We did a bunch of different things. Um, we made Christmas big for my kids because, well, I was leaving right after the new year. And so we did a big Christmas. Did a big Christmas, all the bells and whistles, kids everywhere, people everywhere. And then January 12th came, and that's the day I went off and we had our little ceremony and went to Wisconsin again. And then we went from there to Germany, actually Bangor, which would have been cool to see my wife again, but then Germany and then Afghanistan. I spent some time in Kandahar, Afghanistan. Now, when I got there, my plan was, and this is what today's topic was, my plan, my best laid plan was this. I was going to do my job. I was going to stay out of trouble, and I wasn't going to I was going to make sure no one knew who I was. I was going to do the bare minimum, stay out of the way, stay quiet, and just do what I had to do. Um, Now, that was my plan. When I got there, I met with the unit that we were replacing. Basically, you come in, and then the unit you're replacing stays like 2 weeks. Well, you're there for 2 weeks. You kind of learn the system. Okay. And I saw the system they were working, the guys that I was replacing, and it made no sense to me. It made no sense because they didn't actually put together a system that worked. They more like put together a system that worked for them, not was repeatable. The big thing with anything military or anything in, I guess, life is you want to be able to have repeatable results. So if you do something tomorrow like you did today, the same thing should happen. They didn't do that. What they did was instead of getting new wire or getting new this or getting new that, they used whatever they could find. So in electrician work, at least in American standards, we have color codes for everything. We have black, white, red, green, so on. Okay, normally for a normal house, it's black, white, green, or black, white, and bare wire. Okay, hot, neutral, ground. Okay, ground is the one that sometimes is green, sometimes isn't. Okay, black is hot, white is anyway. These people used every color wire known to man. And so I said, how do you know what it is? Oh, we just figured it out. My brain didn't work that way. So first thing I did was I said, okay, I can't do this. So I got a hold of Ely, and Ely and I, Roland, Ely and I decided, okay, I'm going to replace all this. Well, of course, that unit had never ordered wire. Never had ordered 12 gauge, 14 gauge, the thickness of wire. How much power each wire takes is the size of the gauge. You don't need to know that for this. They never ordered any of it. Now, I thought, okay, I don't want to come here and make a lot of noise. I just want to do my job and go home and be alive. That's really all I wanted. I wanted to be alive and at the end of it, be successful, not be dead. To me, that was a success. Everything else, whatever. So I went to Sergeant Choate. Sergeant Choate, I said, hey, I got nothing. And she's like, well, talk to the girls. So there was a bunch of girls in the office. I don't think there was any guys, actually. There was Sicard. There was Sicard, Picard. I can't remember the girls. Anyway, there's a few of them. There was Gonzalez, Picard, and Sicard, and Lynch. Now, these girls, they didn't get a lot of respect from a lot of people. Why? Because they weren't slinging wrenches. They were typing on computers. Now, we couldn't get the wrenches without the computers or them typing on computers, but no one really gave them the respect they needed or deserved or were required to give them. Everyone kind of treated them like second-class citizens, including good, bad, or ugly Sergeant Choate. Sergeant Choate, Sergeant Cloxton, Sergeant Tapia, Sergeant Merrill. These were all people who were kind of in charge. They treated the girls kind of like they were less than, but everything kind of ran through them, so I don't know why they thought that was okay. So here's what started happening. As I'd go to the girls and be like, hey, Lynch, hey, Gonzalez, I need 12 gauge wire. And they'd be like typing in, trying to figure out, okay, how much do you need? I said, a lot. And they would just order. They would order enough to where someone else didn't have to sign off on it, but it was like the max you could order without like lots of permissions. And they did that, and it was great. And then, so I started rewiring everything. I had Ely's help. Then we started having engine issues with certain generators because they were older, and I need an engine. Hey, Lynch, I need an engine. Lynch would go, oh, okay. Type it in. Magically, engine. Poof, right? Outlets. Anything I could think of. So the time came about 2 months into our deployment. It was getting warm, Afghanistan, southern Afghanistan, warm happens. And the girls are in this trailer. We're not talking pretty trailer. We're talking this trailer. And I started talking to them and talking about, hey, what makes you feel like you're at home? What do you like? What don't you like? Because I have this beautiful wife at home. And I said, they talked about flowers and grass and popsicles. And so we had some extra toilets probably from a building that we demoed. My wife sent me soil and some seeds, and we set up a garden outside of the facility that they worked in. And then there was a refrigerator that was busted. I fixed the refrigerator. I recharged it. I set it up so they had a refrigerator. I put a power outlet in there for the refrigerator. And my wife sent the popsicles. So basically, I was trying to take care of them. Why? Because they took care of me. The longer I got into my deployment, the more I realized the people who made things work every day were not the G.I. Joe gung-ho 11 Bravo people who were out there to kill as many bad guys as possible, take them all down, and do the dirty work. It was the peons like me, and Lynch, and Gonzalez, and Sicard, and Paquette, I think is the last name for her. I can't remember. But anyway, someone will tell me later what it is. We kind of ran the show, but we got none of the credit for it. During our deployment, we had a lot of stressful times. There was rocket attacks, there was burning things, there was funerals, there was everything in between, okay? Nothing good. Yet, we acted every day like everything was fine. We had cookouts, we had popsicles, we had Girl Scout cookies. We stayed up at night. the girls would come to my chew, my apartment, basically. It's where I lived. They held it a chew. At 2 in the morning, hey, our AC's broken, come fix it. And I would go down there at 2 in the morning into a ladies' chew and take apart their AC and fix it for them. Now, I didn't say, hey guys, I can fix ACs, or hey guys, I'm here to help you whenever you call me, or hey guys, I want to be acknowledged. No, I fixed one person's, and to another, to another, to another. Great. These girls would do things for me, I'd do things for them. The word got along that I could fix these, so now all of a sudden I have people from other units coming to my door asking me to fix their ACs. Awesome. Not really, but it was okay. The point is I started going there trying to not make a splash. I just wanted to do my time, go home. And then I started meeting people along the way, and I was encouraged and I was pushed to help them no matter what. So if Lynch called me up at 3 in the morning, came to my door saying, hey, something's broken, or I can't get my computer to work, or this is working, or this isn't working, or my power's out, I wouldn't be like, hey, bother me at 6 a.m. or come to me tomorrow. I would just get up and I'd go do it. And it wasn't that, oh, I wanted to be recognized. It was just, um, I felt like it was my job to help these people. And I didn't want recognition. I didn't want to be paid. I didn't want any treats. I just wanted to help them out, move on, go forward. I helped out the Navy. I helped out the Air Force. I helped out the Army on other things. And while doing all this, what I realized is that the career Army people depended on people like me, like Lynch, like Gonzalez, like Sicard, all of us, to literally get through their day. They had no idea what they were doing. They did the paperwork, but they didn't know how to make the paperwork turn into things. And that really started bothering me about July of that year. It started bothering me because I felt like there were people out there getting awards, getting commendations, getting recognized for all the awesome things they were doing, but they weren't doing them. Other people were doing them, but they signed a piece of paper, so they didn't get the love and the respect that they deserved. And that drove me crazy. And while going through all that, I saw that, and I saw the stress that, though they didn't say it, was on the people I cared about. So I had like 7 to 10 people I really like cared about. Vo never went outside the wire. He was deaf as a doorknob. He was not going anywhere. But Vo worked hard. He also was kind of lazy. He worked at 100% or he was lazy at 100%. There was no middle ground with Vo. It was all or nothing for laziness, and great, good for him. Carvalho, who was like my roommate, chewmate, along with Vo. Carvalho was a slob, barely did his job, and he magically got hurt and got sent home and whatever. I'm not a big fan of Carvalho. Maybe I should have been, but I had more room inspections because of that guy than I really deserved. There was Sergeant Hoff, who was basically, I don't even know what she really did. She was more like a 92 Alpha, but kind of in charge of them. Not our girls, different unit. And then there was Lynch, Gonzalez, Sicard, and a few others, but basically that and Ely. Ely's a special case. Anyway, these guys I cared about, and I saw a lot of them not getting the recognition or being recognized like they should have been. Lynch, Sicard, Gonzalez, they all worked stupid hours. If something broke or something was missing, it was their fault, even if it wasn't their fault. Vo was a truck mechanic, but he got put with me. Why? I don't know. They just did. They put him with me. Ely was a generator mechanic. He was put with me to learn how to do his job. That made sense to me. But a lot of these guys that I cared about didn't do the jobs that they were there for. They did the jobs that the upper management basically decided they needed done. And even if they weren't trained for it, they were going to do it anyway. And I feel like that really hindered the growth of these individuals. So here's where the stress comes in. We get further on the deployment, bad, more bad things start happening to people. I hurt myself. I get hurt. Hurt my foot, hurt my arm, hurt this, hurt that. Um, Convoys start getting a little crazier. Things start getting a little wackier. People start going a little cuckoo. We had a few people who had to leave due to stress and being a little out there. Um, we had bullying. We had everything you could think of. Okay. And with all that, you see the mindset of people start to either grow or fall apart. And what I noticed is a lot of the upper people, what they did to deal with the stress was they went and did things that they would hold the people below them accountable for as a negative action they did it themselves. From dating married people or being married and dating unmarried people to drinking to doing things like that. And while one did get caught drinking and got in trouble, he was still treated with the respect of his rank that he had before. He just didn't have the rank anymore. So it was a weird thing, okay? And I started getting more and more stressed and anxious because I saw that the less coordinated we were, the less respectful we were of each other, the less safe and the less healthy we were. Now, while people were recognizing me, seeing that I was doing stuff, they never checked on me every day. They just kind of let me do my own thing. They never cared where I was, what I was doing. They just let me do my thing. When trouble happened, they'd come and get me. What I realized is the further we got into deployment, when these upper management were doing all these things that they held the lower people accountable for, they were treating the lower people even worse. They were being more snooty, more, cranky, almost like they were unhappy with their own life choices, but they couldn't say it, so they took it out on somebody else. And that really rubbed me the wrong way because I deployed with some really good people. There was a lot of good people on my deployment, and these good people really, 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 their job, their mindset, whatever you want to call it, when they went to Kandahar, they were not going there to be G.I. Joe. They were not going there to get the Congressional Medal of Honor. They signed up to serve our country, to do the right thing, to be there as a gap filler for the rest of America. Okay. That's what they signed up for. Our country, in their ultimate wisdom, sent us to a war zone. They weren't going there to get medals. They were going there to go there, do their job, maybe even get promoted, go home, happy-go-lucky, safe. Towards the end of our deployment, certain members of the upper management were trying to get more medals. By trying to get more medals and get more recognition, you put people's lives in danger. And that's what they started doing. Now, if you want to get a medal, go get a damn medal. Okay? I have medals. They're in a box. Okay? I don't care if you want to get a medal, but when you start putting other people's lives and mental health in danger or on the line because you don't have what you need yet, then you're being selfish. Okay? Now, by the time we get to the end of our deployment, we had definite separation. There was definite separation between groups. So you had the upper management, people sleeping with upper management. You had the regular soldiers. Then you had the rest. I was part of the rest. Okay, so I wasn't a super soldier. I wasn't getting 300s on my PT test, but I was reliable. Lynch, not a super soldier, not 300 PT test, but if you asked her to get something for you, she was there. Okay. We get home. We go to Fort Dix. Now, here's it's changed since 2012, thank God. We got home January 11th, 2012. We got to Fort Dix like January 5th or 6th. Anyway, get there, Fort Dix, and they basically gave me the option and some others, like, okay, you have some health concerns. You can stay here, we can take care of it, or you can go home with the rest of the unit on the 11th. Now, I'd been gone for basically a year, and then before that, I'd been home for maybe 3 months the previous year of 2010. So basically, I hadn't been home in almost 2 years. Uh, I can get my stuff fixed at home, is what I'm thinking. Okay. And that's what 99, I think almost everybody but one person chose that option. And we get home. We got a ceremony. We got wives and husbands crying, kids everywhere, dogs and cats, whole shebang. Everybody happy. Probably not the spouses of the people who were cheating on them, but that's a whole different animal. But then here's what happens. 2012, get home. I have a packet. All of us get home with a packet. We all get some. Basically, if you deployed, you get a packet at the end that you can give to the VA or to medical people to try to get medical stuff taken care of. 2012, I get a packet. Lynch gets a packet. Gonzalez. Everyone gets their packet. You get it. It's like Oprah. Everyone got a packet. So I go to the VA in February, hand in my packet. I call them in March. Hey, how's that going? What packet? I go back in April, hand them the packet. So I'm making copies every time. So don't worry, I still have the packet. I basically kept going for about 6 months. Finally, at the end of 2012, I was working with an organization called Easter Seals, and they were helping out veterans. And they said, hey, we're going to DC in the spring. You want to go to the DC with us? Talk to some senators, some congressmen, talk to them, House Rep members, talk to them about the VA stuff, talk to them about how veterans are treated, talk to them how we treat you compared to I said, okay, great, let's do this. I go magically, as soon as I talk to Susan Collins, Angus King, Mike Dutremble, Sherry Pingree, and others, Democrats and Republicans and independents, magically I get home with my packets. They found it. So my packet goes through, I get my rating, VA starts taking care of me. Now, that didn't happen for everybody. Lynch was on the same deployment. Vo was on the same deployment. Roland was on the same deployment. They do the same thing. They don't get the senator. They don't get the House of Representative member. They get squat. What happens? They get no care. Months, years, decades go by. Lynch is still working on her packet for them to accept her what she has. We were around burning tires, burning everything. Everything was on fire. Our lungs, our vocal cords, if you can tell them with mine, they got damaged. Breathing's great. Your skin has issues. Your feet, your back, your legs, your arms, your head. Depending on where you were, bad things happen to your body. Even if you stayed behind the wire, you were next to a burning pile of fire every day. We lived next to something called a poop pond. Literally a lake full of poop. Okay? Not good for your lungs. We get home. The VA will take care of you. Lynch has been going on now 13 years. Hasn't been taken care of fully yet. She has asthma, but they gave her 0% for asthma. How is asthma 0%? Who knows? This is what stresses me out. This is what some of my anxiety is right now, too, is next week I go back to the VA. The VA is the one who's been putting me on medication to help me with my anxiety, my ADHD, my stress. And since I've been in the VA system, I've gone through 4 different doctors for PCP. I've gone through 6 different mental doctors. Now, I'm not driving them. Like, it's not like they're like going, oh, we don't like him, you're going to see him now. No, I'm seeing different ones because the other ones just keep leaving. The appointment I have next week is with a doctor that isn't even in the VA anymore. But the text says it is. Now, I'm pretty sure I know who it is. But I'm not 100% sure because, well, that doctor isn't on the text. It's for a doctor that retired from the VA 6 months ago. So in theory, I'm hopefully seeing the new doctor. But that stresses me out. It stresses me out that unless Lynch or Vo or Roland gets the right person at the right time, at the right location, these people who sacrificed everything, they literally said, here's a blank check, my body, my soul, my life, my family, cash it when you're ready. They gave that to the government. They did their duty, and they're still waiting. And the part that bothers me too is these upper management people, okay? Some of them have been through multiple deployments, okay? Some of them actually got hurt. Some of them actually deserve the medals they got. But there are some of them out there that are getting all this stuff from the VA and other projects and Wounded Warrior and everything else, and they never got wounded. They never got hurt. They never sprained an ankle. Their lungs probably suck. I'll give them that. But their body didn't take any abuse because they didn't do anything other than, you know, what they had to sign pieces of paper. Lynch went outside the wire. Sicard went outside. All these people left the war zone. Now, Vo didn't because of his hearing damage. But Vo instead did lots of other crazy things because they knew he wasn't going outside the wire, so they had him do everything and anything. And it frustrates me that the upper management, because of their rank, because when you get to a certain rank, you start learning certain people. You have certain connections. They get the care they need. They get the love, the attention, the respect they need. When a private, a specialist, a corporal gets nothing. They get nothing because they haven't reached that tier of you're just important enough. I got lucky. I got to talk to people. And I got to explain what's going on, and I got to show real world. I went down to DC. I had 4 of my kids with me. My wife was with me, and I explained what was going on. The big thing that triggered it is we were at a hotel. I had a stress PTSD moment, and I kicked in the door and almost killed my kids. Talked about this. It's a scary moment. This was a month, not even a month before I went down to DC. So when I went down to DC, I said, listen, Senator Collins, listen, I have tried to get help. No one's helping. Here's what's going on. Here's what happened. Tell me what I can do to get the help I need. I had that chance. These other people don't. If you know a soldier, or if you are a soldier and you need help reaching out to the VA, or you don't think you're getting the care you need, or you don't know who to talk to, message me. I have people I know. I will throw them under the bus, and I'll let you roll over them and to get what you need. I've been trying to help Lynch out because she's done evaluations and appeals, and I will help you out. If you know someone who is a veteran that is homeless or is having issues, there are services out there to help them, but they need to know how to do it. And of course, the system that we have does not help veterans get that help. They just say, hey, it's here if you find it. And that's wrong. Ask for help. If you don't want to ask me because it's too personal, there are things called vet centers. There is the Disabled American Vet, the DAV, AMVETS. Easter Seals around the country does it. There are many, 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 many programs. And if you don't have time to look, I don't know what else other than talk to me because I don't know who you know. But I am willing to step in and help because it makes me feel good when a veteran gets the help they need. It makes me feel good when a veteran feels like they're not alone. My wife's friend growing up, his name was Scott, called him Shooky, was in the Navy, was in the engine room, inhaled lots of bad things. Hurt his back, hurt his legs, hurt his lungs. Never went to the VA for a rating. Just did it. Now, when I helped him, I wasn't going, hey, Scott, make sure you shout out me how amazing I am. No. What I said was, get what you need, and if you have more questions, reach out to me. I don't care if he ever says thank you. I think he already has, but I don't care about, here's what I care about. Is the people who ask Scott for a blank check, are they going to take care of him like they promised, or are they going to leave him on the wayside? And I don't want him being left on the wayside. I don't want Lynch or any of the other guys and girls I deployed with. These are good people. Lynch, amazing person. Scott, amazing person. Lynch has done two of my daughter's hairs for weddings. She has done my hair, done my wife's hair. She doesn't do it. She's in school now. Thank you. Good job getting to school. I love that. This woman is amazing. She has kids, she has a life, she has passions. But if I asked her tomorrow, hey, I need your help, she'd show up. And she'd show up because she also knows that if she called me tomorrow and said, I need your help, I would show up. Because we care about each other. Because that's what the military is supposed to grow, is no matter what, Roland Ely will always be my battle buddy. Lynch will always be my battle buddy. Ivo, who I haven't talked to in years, if he calls me and says, hey, Mariello, I'm stressing, I need help. Where are you? I'm coming. That's just how it goes. And it will always be that way for those who were in the service and they weren't in there for the medals. They weren't in there for the special awards. They weren't in there for the recognition. They were in there because they decided that they were able and willing to sign that blank check. Because once you give someone the authority to kill you whenever they want, and you're sitting next to a person who did the same thing, there's a camaraderie there that never goes away. Now, you might not always like the person. Sometimes that person might frustrate you, but they're always your person. It's like that saying, you can't pick on my sibling or you can't pick on my family. I can because I'm their family, but you can't mess with them. No one messes with my family. Lynch, Scott, Vo, Roland, Sicard, Gonzalez, Hoff. There's a bunch of them. But these guys are my family. And I will, come hell or high water, protect them. Does that lead to stress? Yes. Does that lead to anxiety? Yes. Does that lead to me being pissed off when they aren't treated right? Yes. Does that lead me sometimes to thinking in the middle of the night, what are they doing? Why aren't they getting the help they need? What can I do? And then it leads to frustration when you realize you can't do anything at 10 o'clock at night. Those are the things that are stressful to me, but I'm going to keep striving for it. And when Lynch or Scott or anyone, Roland, reach out and say, hey, VA question, or hey, tech question, or hey, I'm buying a house question, I'll answer my phone, I'll answer my text. I will be there for them because they're my family. Till tomorrow, thank you all for watching. Subscribe. I'm going to say it every week. I'm up to like 15 now. I don't know who the 15th person was, but if you are, thank you. I love doing this. I like releasing some of this stress. I have a few people who watch me who have decided they're going to start doing it too. And I'll support them. And if they say anything or a video that's kind of on topic, I will bring that up too. Thank you again for watching. See you tomorrow.